Before we begin, viewer discretion is strongly advised. The following content is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. What you're about to hear is the exact federal courtroom testimony from the Sean Diddy Combs trial, as reported by Inner City Press. Day 12 was expected to be uneventful, just more filings and procedural motions. But everything changed when Justin Bieber quietly entered through a side door. Reporters shot up from their seats. The jury stiffened. Even members of legal teams looked around, stunned. No one knew Justin was scheduled to testify that day, and what he revealed under oath sent shockwaves far beyond the courtroom. Justin walked like someone carrying the weight of an entire industry on his shoulders. Face down, pale, jaw clenched tight against a decade of silence. His presence alone was a seismic event, a ghost from pop's music's past stepping into the harsh light of justice. The air crackled. This wasn't just a witness. This was a reckoning. "I've been silent for years," he began, voice low, but cutting through the courtroom's thick silence. "But after what's been coming out, the darkness, the patterns, I knew I couldn't hide anymore. The truth had to come out."
One of the first.
You know, I'm blessed to be in this industry.
Yes, and you're
I
blessed.
just try to blend it with my artistry.
Yeah, and you create.
He transported everyone back to 2009. "I was 15, wide-eyed, desperate to belong. Scooter presented this world like Disneyland for superstars. And Diddy? He wasn't just a rapper or a producer. He was the kingmaker, the living embodiment of hip-hop luxury."
No.
Alright, 16.
You're not ready.
16.
Let's slow
Alright.
down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down,
One,
okay?
one step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Alright.
Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay, I get the mansion.
Yeah.
People treated proximity to him like a sacred blessing. But that blessing, it was a gilded cage. No one told me the price of admission was your soul.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for all those in London that don't know what happens to the white man when he comes to a P. Diddy party, this is what happens to the white man.
It's so unfortunate.
You gotta pull back though, so they can see. That's crazy. Matt, move out the way. You're still alive. Look at that. Look. Would you?
Get the drink out his head.
And that's James from Simeon Mobile Disco. He is a actual DJs aren't supposed to pass out, but when they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to them.
You should
I put him to
listen
sleep.
Next day, right?
You put the drink on his head.
There you go. There it is.
This was Diddy's world, a labyrinth built on access and intimidation. His history with young male artists wasn't mentorship. It was a calculated system of influence. Think back. Usher, at 14, living with Diddy in New York, later describing those years vaguely as very curious and wild. Bow Wow, barely a teenager, draped in designer clothes at Diddy's parties, later confessing he witnessed things a kid shouldn't see. Chris Brown, embraced early, finding himself entangled in Diddy's orbit during his own meteoric rise. They were all drawn in by Shimmer, only to find shadows cling to them long after. But the shadows fell longest and darkest on the women. Diddy's relationships weren't romances. There were exercises and dominion. Let's pull back the velvet curtain. Before Cassie Ventura, the 19-year-old aspiring singer he molded and controlled for over a decade, there was Kim Porter, the mother of his children, his on-again, off-again partner for years. Her death in 2018 officially ruled lobar pneumonia, sent shockwaves through their circle. But whispers persisted. Whispers Porter herself fueled. Friends revealed she confided, "If anything happens to me, look at Puff." She reportedly felt trapped, knew explosive secrets, and was allegedly compiling notes for a memoir just weeks before she was found unresponsive. Her death remains a haunting question mark looming over Diddy's legacy. Then there's Jennifer Lopez, the relationship that catapulted them both to stratospheric fame. But behind the Versace dress and Jenny from the Block image, sources close to Lopez at the time hinted at deep unease. The infamous 1999 Club New York shooting, where Diddy, then Puff Daddy, and J-Lo were arrested after guns were found in their fleeing SUV, wasn't just a legal nightmare. Insiders suggest Lopez saw a chilling scene of Diddy's world that night. The paranoia, the entourage's volatility, the dangerous stakes. She exited the relationship swiftly and completely, rarely speaking of him again. A silence many now interpret as self-preservation. And the pattern repeats. Cassie, her 2023 lawsuit wasn't just about beatings and things that involved that. It painted a picture of systematic imprisonment, trafficked to other men, forced into sexual acts while Diddy watched and recorded, her passport confiscated. The speed of the settlement spoke volumes, a multi-million-dollar muzzle applied with ruthless efficiency. But Cassie's courage cracked the dam. Suddenly, other whispers gained volume. Misa Hylton, mother of Diddy's first son, Justin, spoke of control and manipulation during their early years. Rumors resurfaced about Sarah Chapman, the London-based model who vanished from Diddy's scene after a turbulent relationship in the early 2000s. These weren't isolated incidents. They were chapters in a well-worn playbook of control, isolation, and enforced silence. Justin's voice brought it back to the present horror. "He didn't leave bruises on me," he testified, a tremor beneath the words. "He left scars on my mind. He made me believe my talent was his gift to bestow. 'You're mine,' he'd say. 'Never forget who opened doors for you.' He'd fly me to his private islands, seat me beside him at premieres like a trophy, demand the smile, the performance. It was grooming on a billionaire scale. Psychological warfare. You're a kid, and this titan calls you son, protege. You feel chosen, special, until you realize he's not lifting you up. He's marking you, owning you, like a collector." The prosecution displayed the photo. Justin, 16, swimming in a leather chair inside Diddy's penthouse. A glass of amber liquid in his small hand. Older woman flanking him. The caption projected large, "Prince of the Party." The jury's collective intake of breath was audible. This wasn't childhood stardom, it was childhood weaponized. Then came the audio. The damning proof that shattered the facade of glamour. Leaked voicemails, provided by a former assistant who defied a lifetime NDA, echoed in the sterile room. One clip, Diddy's voice, cold, commanding. No one walks out that door unless I say it's time. Understand? This is my house. Another recording, a woman's voice this time, ragged with tears, pleading, "You promised. You said I could leave. Please, just let me go." The chilling reality hit. These weren't parties. They were velvet-roped prisons, gilded cells, where champagne flowed to drown the sound of desperation. Diddy didn't just navigate Hollywood's dark underbelly. He helped architect it. Bad Boy Records wasn't just a label. It was a machine fueled by control and consequence. Remember the casualties? Shine, in prison after the Club New York incident, while Diddy walked free. G. Depp, turning himself in for a cold case murder years later, his career long extinguished. Danity Kane, publicly humiliated and discarded on his MTV show. Artists who questioned, who resisted, or simply outlived their usefulness vanished. Careers imploded, lives derailed, and Biggie? Christopher Wallace's ambition to break free from Bad Boy's grip, his desire for independence, is well documented by those close to him. His murder remains unsolved, but the shadow of that desire and the power structure he challenged lingers eternally. The retreats Justin mentioned were microcosms of Diddy's empire. Private islands transformed into private parties. Mega yachts became floating fortresses of decadence. Lockdown weekends, a euphemism for utter isolation. Phones confiscated at the door. Colored wristbands dictating access levels. Armed security, loyal only to Combs, enforcing a silence thicker than the tropical air. He wouldn't participate like the others, Justin recalled, a shiver in his tone. He'd glide through the rooms in a silk robe, watching, always watching, like a scientist observing an experiment, or a predator surveying his territory. One story crystallized the psychological terror. This is back in LA, maybe 2011. 2 a.m. My phone rings. It's him. Come over. Now. I was exhausted, confused. I asked why. His voice went flat. Because you're mine. That's reason enough. Justin stopped talking. Justin stopped taking his calls after that. But the message had already seared in. Resistance was futile. The tentacles of his influence were everywhere. Hollywood didn't save Justin. It consumed him. The paparazzi frenzy, the mugshots, the public meltdowns, they were dissected as youthful rebellion, not the trauma responses of a kid psychologically shattered by the very industry that profited from him. Who asked why he broke? Who connected the dots between the wide-eyed teen singing Baby and the haunted young man navigating Diddy's labyrinth? Because Sean Combs wasn't just collecting hits or businesses, he was collecting people. Young stars, beautiful women, powerful connections, all assets to be leveraged, controlled, and discarded. His power stemmed not just from his empire, but from the complicity he cultivated. The testimony turned to the enablers, the Hollywood elites who feasted at his table. Names carefully introduced in the evidence painted a damning picture. A legendary music producer known for humanitarian work, a regular at Diddy's gatherings, a now retired studio head who allegedly smoothed over incidents involving Diddy protege artists, a former high-ranking political figure glimpsed on a yacht during one notorious retreat. Their presence wasn't passive, it was endorsement. It was the armor of silence purchased with access and influence. A former bodyguard, face obscured, testified via video link. I saw things involving famous faces, things that could end careers, ruin lives, but you don't speak. You can't. The network is too deep. The repercussions too final. You just disappear, quietly. The cracks are widening. Cassie's lawsuit was the tremor. Justin's testimony is the earthquake. New plaintiffs emerged. Joey Dickerson-Neal, suing Diddy for drugging and sexually assaulting her in 1991, filmed without consent. Another former male employee, alleging sexual assault and coercion. Grainy security footage, authenticated by the court, showed Diddy violently dragging a woman through a hotel corridor by her hair. Footage previously buried, now undeniable. Justin's closing words hung heavy. I'm not here for revenge. I'm here because the machine protects monsters. It wraps them in money, fame, and fear. If those of us who survived don't stand up now, then who will? Who stops the next kid from walking through that golden door into darkness? The judge called the recess. Reporters scrambled, phones buzzing like angry hornets. Social media exploded. Hashtag Diddy trial became a global inferno. And Diddy, the mogul, the icon, sat perfectly still. The usual swagger, the defiant glare, gone, replaced by a terrifying emptiness, a mask slipping to reveal nothing or everything. For the first time, the spotlight wasn't illuminating his crafted persona. It was illuminating the chilling landscape of his actions. Now, the world holds its breath. Who else walks through that courtroom door? What other sealed settlements will shatter? How deep do the roots of this rot run through Hollywood's glittering facade? Because, in the blinding light of fame, the darkest secrets fester, and the reckoning, long delayed, has finally begun. If you like true crime, then subscribe for more.